Have you ever noticed how someone's attitude shifts from indifference to intense longing when you're not around? Yet, they're left puzzled by their own actions, as if they're caught in a maze of their emotions. It's as though every silent moment whispers your name, compelling them to act in ways that betray their deep longing for you. Suddenly, every little thing they do seems to echo your name, and they find themselves doing the unexpected, all because your absence has cast a spell over them. What if I told you this is not a dream, and all of this is well within our reach? Yes, my Stoic friends, today we are diving deep into a compelling strategy that revolves around the art of strategic withdrawal, stepping back to let others realize just what they're missing. And yes, I am talking about Stoicism, a strategy so powerful it can reshape how they see you, how they value you, and how deeply they miss you. My friends, this isn't about playing games. It's about a profound appreciation of your intrinsic worth and allowing that realization to echo loudly in the absence of your presence. As Seneca once wisely said, to make them miss you, you must give them the gift of your absence. This profound statement underlines a powerful strategy in the dance of relationships. Your deliberate absence can magnify their longing for you, compelling them to engage in behaviors that are telltale signs of how deeply they miss you. It's not merely about being absent. It's about strategically creating a void where your presence once filled their days and thoughts. When you step away, you provide them with the space to confront and feel the enormity of your absence, sparking a series of actions that betray their innermost feelings of desire and regret. But before we dive deeper, let's start with an affirmation that will strengthen your resolve. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and affirm, I know my value. Done. Now go ahead and drop it in the comments to let me know that you're following along, that I'm not just talking to the wind, but to someone truly committed to embracing their worth and making a powerful change in their life. Number 1, they reach out more frequently. So, folks, let's dive into our first point. They reach out more frequently when they miss you. Now, at first glance, this might seem like a no-brainer. Of course, if someone misses you, they're going to want to talk to you more, right? But let's dig a little deeper into what's really happening here, because this isn't just about the number of texts or calls. They're trying to bridge the emotional distance that your absence has created. When someone starts missing you, it's like their world suddenly feels a little off-kilter. Something's missing, and that something is you. They might not even fully realize it at first, but subconsciously, they start looking for ways to bring you back into their life. And what's the easiest way to do that? By reaching out, of course. But this reaching out is more than just casual communication. It's an attempt to rebuild the connection that they're beginning to realize is crucial to their sense of happiness and well-being. Imagine this scenario. You've decided to step back a little, maybe give them some space. Suddenly, they start to feel the weight of your absence. At first, it might be a fleeting thought. I wonder what they're up to. But as time goes on, that thought grows into a desire, a need to hear your voice or see your name pop up on their phone screen. It's not long before they're reaching out more frequently, sending you messages throughout the day. These aren't just random texts, they're lifelines, attempts to re-establish the connection that's been lost. And here's the kicker, they might not even realize why they're doing it. They might think they're just being friendly or checking in on you. But in reality, each message, each call, is driven by a deeper longing. A longing for the connection that your presence once provided. Let's break it down a bit further. Think about the quote from Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. When someone is missing you, they become more curious about your life. They want to hear what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and what you've been up to. They'll ask more questions, listen more intently, and engage more deeply in conversations. Why? Because by doing so, they feel a little closer to you. It's as if by understanding more about what's going on in your world, they can close the emotional gap that your absence has created. Now, let's add some humor into the mix, because after all, Relationships aren't just about deep emotional connections. They're also about the little moments that make us smile. You might start noticing that they're reaching out with the most random topics. Did you see that funny cat video? Or remember that weird dream I told you about? It happened again. These might seem like silly, insignificant messages, but don't be fooled. They're actually subtle attempts to keep the conversation going, to keep you engaged, and to keep you thinking about them as much as they're thinking about you. This increase in communication is also a clear sign that they're beginning to understand your value. Before, they might have taken your presence for granted, assuming you'd always be there, just a call or text away. But now that you've stepped back, they're starting to feel the difference. There's a gap in their day where your conversations used to be, and they're doing everything they can to fill it. They might not say it outright, but the frequency of their messages is a dead giveaway. They're missing you, and they're hoping you'll notice. Imagine them sitting at home, phone in hand, scrolling through old messages. They read through conversations that once made them smile, moments of laughter and connection that now feel like they happened ages ago. They might even hesitate for a moment before sending that next message, wondering if they're coming off as too eager. But the longing to reconnect is stronger than their hesitation, and before they know it, they've hit send. It's not just about wanting to talk to you, it's about needing to feel that connection again, to know that you're still there, even if it's just through a screen. And here's where things get interesting. When they start reaching out more, they might not even be fully aware of the changes in their own behavior. They might tell themselves that they're just being friendly or keeping in touch, but in reality, their actions are driven by something much deeper. Your absence has created a void, and they're doing everything in their power to fill it. This isn't just casual communication. It's a subconscious acknowledgement that they need you in their life, even if they're not ready to admit it out loud. Now, let's talk about how this impacts you. When someone starts reaching out more frequently, it's important to recognize what's happening. This is a sign of your value, a clear indication that your presence in their life is something they don't want to lose. It can be tempting to respond immediately to every message, but remember, part of what's driving their behavior is the realization that you're not always there at their beck and call. By maintaining a little bit of distance, you're reinforcing the idea that your time and attention are precious, something to be cherished, not taken for granted. This is where Stoicism comes into play. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By keeping your thoughts focused on your own growth and well-being, you project a sense of confidence and self-assurance that is incredibly attractive. You're not reaching out to them out of a need for validation. Instead, you're allowing them to come to you, drawn by the strength of your presence, even in your absence. Let's put this into perspective with an example. Imagine you've been spending more time on your own hobbies, developing your skills and focusing on personal growth. You're not ignoring them, but you're also not going out of your way to maintain constant contact. Suddenly, they start texting you more frequently, asking how you've been, wanting to know what you're up to. They might even start showing interest in the things you've been doing on your own, wanting to share in your new experiences. This is a clear sign that they're feeling the impact of your absence and are eager to reestablish the connection. And here's the motivational part. When you see someone reaching out more, it's a reminder of your own worth. You're not just someone who fills a space in their life. You're someone whose absence is deeply felt. By stepping back and allowing them to miss you, you're giving them the opportunity to appreciate you for who you are, not just for the role you play in their daily routine. So keep focusing on your own growth, stay strong in your resolve, and know that their increased communication is a testament to the value you bring to their life. In the words of Seneca, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. When they start reaching out more, it's because they've come to realize that they crave your presence, your conversation, and your connection. They're not just missing the old routine. They're missing the unique qualities that you bring into their world. So folks, The next time you notice someone reaching out more frequently, take it as a sign that they're feeling the impact of your absence. You've made a mark on their life, and now they're doing everything they can to bring you back into it. Remember, your value isn't determined by how often you reach out, but by the impact you have when you're not around. Keep that in mind and let them come to you, driven by the realization that you're someone worth missing. Now, before we dive into the next sign, I've got a quick favor to ask. If you're finding these insights valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who could benefit from these Stoic principles. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join our growing community of Stoic thinkers. And don't go anywhere just yet. Trust me, the last two signs we're going to discuss are absolute game changers. They'll not only reveal how deeply someone misses you, but they'll also show you how to use this knowledge to transform your relationships for the better. So stick around until the end. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 2, they reminisce about the past. So folks, let's discuss the second thing they'll do when they start to miss you. Reminisce about the past. Now, we've all been there, right? You're going about your day, and suddenly, you're hit with a wave of nostalgia that pulls you back to a moment that felt so special, so irreplaceable. That's exactly what happens when someone starts to miss you. But here's the twist. They're not just reminiscing about any past. They're reliving the moments that involved you. Imagine this. They're sitting on their couch, scrolling through their phone, and bam, they stumble upon a photo of the two of you, maybe from a trip you took together. A funny selfie you snapped on a random Tuesday, or a moment when you both couldn't stop laughing at something silly. Suddenly, they're transported back to that time, feeling the warmth, the connection, and the joy that only your presence could bring. It's like watching a highlight reel of their happiest memories. And guess what? You're the star of that reel. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When they start to reminisce, it's because your presence has become a want, a desire that's now unfulfilled. They begin to realize that those little moments they once took for granted were actually priceless, and that's when the longing hits them hard. But let's be real for a moment. Who hasn't indulged in a little nostalgia trip? Maybe they even start to romanticize the past, thinking about how things were simpler, happier, and somehow more meaningful when you were around. They might even find themselves laughing at inside jokes that only the two of you shared. Or they could catch themselves smiling at memories that bring a mix of warmth and bittersweetness. Here's where it gets interesting. This reminiscing doesn't just stop at memories. It often leads them to reach out to you, sometimes with a simple, "Hey, remember when we?" It's their way of testing the waters, seeing if you're on the same nostalgic page, and trying to rekindle the connection. Humor plays a big role here. Maybe they send you a meme that reminds them of an inside joke you two had, or they mention a silly thing you did together. They're not just trying to relive the past. They're trying to re-establish that bond. Imagine you're in their shoes for a second. Every time they see something that reminds them of you, a song, a place, even a certain food, they're pulled back to those moments, and each time, the realization deepens. They miss you, and life just isn't the same without those shared experiences. This is where your value becomes crystal clear to them, often leading them to take action, whether it's sending that nostalgic text or making more significant efforts to bring you back into their life. So, how do you handle this? Simple. Let them reminisce. And when they reach out, keep the conversation light and fun. You don't need to dive deep into the past unless you want to, but acknowledging those good times can be a gentle way to remind them of the connection you once shared. And here's the motivational bit. Don't underestimate the power of those shared memories. They're not just moments in the past. They're the threads that can weave back together the fabric of your relationship. So when they do reminisce and reach out, it's not just about reliving the past. It's about them realizing that they missed the version of themselves that was happiest when you were around. Finally, if you've ever felt this way or know someone who has, drop a comment below with the words "cherishing the memories." It's a way to remind yourself that those memories hold power, and it's okay to let someone miss you and cherish what you brought into their life. After all, you're not just someone from their past, you're the one they're still thinking about today. Number 3. They become more curious about your life. So folks, let's discuss the third thing they will do when they start missing you. They become more curious about your life. Now, you might be thinking, curiosity. Really? That doesn't sound too intense. But let me tell you, when someone misses you, their curiosity isn't just a passing interest. It's a sign that you're living rent-free in their mind, and they're scrambling to keep up with what's going on in your world. Imagine this. You're out there living your best life, posting pictures of new places you visited, or maybe you've picked up a new hobby. Suddenly, you notice they're the first to like your posts, maybe even leaving comments like, "Wow, looks fun," or "When did you start doing that?" These seemingly innocent interactions are more than just casual comments. They're fueled by a deeper need to stay connected with you, to fill the gap your absence has created. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And right now, their thoughts are painted with the curiosity of what you're up to. They start asking questions they never did before, digging into details about your day, your plans, and even your future. Why? Because they're trying to figure out where they stand in your life now that you're no longer constantly in theirs. They're wondering if someone else has taken their place, or if you've moved on, leaving them behind. And let's not forget the classic stalker mode. They might enter, constantly checking your social media, keeping tabs on who you're with, where you're going, and what you're doing. It's almost like they've turned into Sherlock Holmes, piecing together clues from your posts, trying to decode if you miss them too. You might even catch them in little slip-ups, like accidentally liking a photo from months ago. We've all seen that one, haven't we? Now, let me inject a bit of humor here. Picture them trying to act all nonchalant, pretending they're just checking in out of casual interest. But deep down, they're dying to know if you're thinking about them as much as they're thinking about you. It's like they're playing detective, but without a badge or a clue. Here's another scenario. You're at a gathering, having a great time, and you suddenly get a message from them out of the blue, asking how your day is going. Coincidence? I think not. This is their way of subtly letting you know that they're thinking about you and hoping you're thinking about them too. They're trying to stay relevant in your life, even if it's just through a simple text. Let's not forget that curiosity often leads to something deeper, regret. The more they learn about your life without them, the more they might start to realize what they're missing out on. This curiosity can quickly turn into a longing for the days when they were a bigger part of your world. And that, my friends, is where the real power of absence comes into play. So here's the takeaway. If someone's suddenly showing more interest in your life, it's a clear sign that they're missing you. They're not just curious for the sake of it. They're trying to find a way back into your world, to feel connected to you again. And remember, this isn't about playing games. It's about letting them come to the realization that you're someone worth missing, someone whose presence they can't just replace. As we wrap up this point, let's take a moment to reflect with a bit of motivation. Continue living your life fully and unapologetically. Let their curiosity be a testament to the impact you've made on them. As the saying goes, live your life in such a way that when you're absent, your presence is still felt. Keep shining bright, and let them come to the realization that they need you more than they ever knew. Number 4, they show signs of jealousy. So, folks, let's discuss the fourth sign that someone truly misses you: jealousy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jealousy, isn't that a bit negative? But hear me out. When someone starts feeling those little pangs of jealousy, it's actually a clear signal that they miss having you around. It's like their subconscious way of saying, "Hey, I don't like the idea of you being happier without me. Imagine this scenario. You're out there living your best life, posting pictures of your adventures, enjoying time with friends, and generally just glowing. Suddenly, they start noticing. Maybe they see you laughing with someone else, or perhaps you're doing something that you both used to do together, but now you're doing it with someone new. That little green-eyed monster starts creeping in, and they begin to feel uneasy. This is jealousy in its most human form, an emotional response to the fear of losing something valuable, namely you. As the wise Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Jealousy, when it arises, is a reaction that they might not even fully understand themselves. It's a gut feeling, a sudden wave of emotion that catches them off guard. They might start making passive-aggressive comments, or they could become overly inquisitive about who you're spending time with. This isn't because they're trying to control you, it's because your absence has stirred up feelings they didn't even know they had. Now, let's add a touch of humor to keep things light. Picture this. You post a picture of yourself at a new restaurant, enjoying a delicious meal. Out of nowhere, they send you a message. "Oh, trying out new places without me, huh?" You know the type. Half joking, half serious. They might play it off as a joke, but deep down, that comment is rooted in their realization that they're missing out on moments they used to share with you. And let's be real, it's kind of flattering to know that your absence is making them feel that way. But jealousy isn't just about insecurity. It's also a reflection of their realization that you're moving forward without them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When someone misses you, their thoughts start to color everything they see, especially when those thoughts are tinged with jealousy. It's a sign that they're thinking about you more than they'd like to admit, and it's making them realize just how much they want to be a part of your life again. Now, let's wrap this up with some motivation. If you notice someone showing signs of jealousy, don't see it as a negative. Instead, recognize it as a powerful indicator that they miss you. Your absence has left a void that they're struggling to fill, and that's why they react the way they do. Use this as a reminder of your value. Your presence and absence has a profound impact on those around you. Remember, folks, jealousy is a reflection of their longing for you, a clear signal that they still care. So keep shining, keep living your best life, and know that sometimes it's the very act of being missed that reminds others of just how irreplaceable you truly are. Number 5. They make an effort to improve themselves. So folks, let's discuss the 5th thing they'll do when they miss you. They'll start making an effort to improve themselves. Now, you might be thinking, how does missing me suddenly turn them into a self-help guru? Well, it's simple. When someone truly misses you, they start reflecting on what they could have done differently. And that often leads to self-improvement. Imagine this. They're sitting alone, scrolling through their social media feed, and every picture reminds them of you. They start to realize that maybe they weren't the best version of themselves when they were with you. They see those little things they could have done better. And guess what? That realization pushes them to start making changes. As the great philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When they miss you, they begin to understand that mastering themselves, whether it's their habits, attitudes, or lifestyle, is the key to not just winning you back, but also to becoming a better person overall. They might start going to the gym, eating healthier, or even picking up new hobbies, all in an effort to be the kind of person you'd admire. Now, let's not forget the humor in this transformation. Picture them suddenly becoming a yoga enthusiast, posting quotes about inner peace, when just a few weeks ago, they couldn't tell you the difference between downward dog and a hot dog. It's amusing, but it's also a sign of how much they miss having you in their life. So, if you notice someone suddenly glowing up, don't be surprised. It's their way of showing you that they're serious about making things right. And remember, folks, this isn't just about them. It's about you too. Keep shining, keep growing, because you deserve someone who sees your worth and strives to match it. Let their self-improvement be a reflection of the high standards you've set. Stay strong and keep being the best version of yourself. You never know who might be watching and working hard to keep up with you. Number 6. They drop subtle hints. So, folks, let's discuss the 6th intriguing behavior they'll show when they miss you. Dropping those oh-so-subtle hints. You know the ones, like breadcrumbs leading you back into their world, but without them having to say, "I miss you," outright. Now, why do they do this? It's all about testing the waters, keeping things mysterious, and seeing if you'll pick up on their cues without them having to wear their heart on their sleeve. Imagine this. They start posting throwback pictures on social media. Ones where you two were together, happy, and clearly having a good time. Or maybe they suddenly like that old photo of you both that's been buried in your timeline for years. Coincidence? I think not. This is their way of saying, "Hey, remember the good times," without directly reaching out. It's like they're trying to jog your memory and see if you miss those moments too. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." They're reacting to your absence by throwing out these subtle signals, hoping you'll react in a way that brings you closer to them again. And let's be honest, when you notice these hints, it's like a little game. It keeps things interesting, and sometimes it even makes you smile, because, let's face it, they're trying hard not to try too hard. Now, folks, these hints aren't just random acts. They're carefully crafted, almost like a secret code. And when you start decoding it, you realize just how much they're thinking about you. So next time you see a song lyric that perfectly describes your relationship pop up on their status, or a meme that's just too relatable, know that these aren't just coincidences. They're calling cards of someone who misses you. Remember, missing someone isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the quiet, almost invisible gestures that speak the loudest. So if you see these hints, know that you're on their mind, and they're hoping you'll notice. And maybe even take the hint yourself. Keep your eyes open, folks. Those breadcrumbs might just lead you back to a connection worth rekindling. Number 7. They appear more emotionally vulnerable. So folks, let's discuss the 7th thing they'll do when they miss you. They start to show more emotional vulnerability. Now, you might be thinking, wait, the person who was once so distant is now wearing their heart on their sleeve. Exactly. When someone truly misses you, they can't help but let their guard down. It's like they're carrying around this heavy feeling. And the only way to lighten the load is by sharing what's on their mind. Imagine this. They used to be cool and composed, but now they're suddenly texting you late at night, telling you how much they've been thinking about you. Maybe they're sharing songs that remind them of you or opening up about moments they've been reflecting on. It's as if the absence of your presence has cracked open their emotional shell, and all those feelings they've been hiding start spilling out. Here's where it gets interesting. As the great Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When they start missing you, their thoughts are filled with memories of you, and this stirs up emotions they might not have even realized they had. Those feelings of longing and regret become too much to keep bottled up, so they reach out, hoping you'll catch those emotional signals. But let's keep it real for a second. This vulnerability isn't just about them feeling sad or lonely. It's also about them recognizing your value in their life. They're not just missing your presence. They're missing the comfort, the support, and the connection that you brought into their world. So take this as a sign of how deeply they're affected by your absence. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most guarded hearts need a little distance to realize just how much they care. Remember, folks, your absence is not a void. It's a mirror reflecting their true feelings. And when those feelings start to surface, you know you've made a lasting impact that goes beyond the surface. Keep shining, stay strong, and let their vulnerability be a testament to your worth. Number 8, they make plans to see you. So folks, let's discuss the 8th sign that someone truly misses you. They start making plans to see you. Now, This one's a biggie because it shows they're not just thinking about you. They're actively trying to bring you back into their life. Imagine this. You've been absent for a while, living your best life, and suddenly you get that text. Hey, it's been too long. We should catch up. They're not just being polite. They're feeling the gap you've left, and it's starting to get to them. This isn't just about grabbing a coffee. It's about reconnecting and filling the void your absence has created. You see, when someone goes out of their way to make plans, it's because they've realized how much they miss the time they spent with you. As Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. When they reach out to make plans, it's their way of rekindling the connection that's been fading. They're hoping to start something new, something that might fill that empty space they've been feeling since you've been gone. Now, let's be real for a second. Sometimes this might come across as them trying a little too hard. Maybe even offering to go to that pottery class you've always talked about, but they've never been interested in. Don't be surprised if they suddenly become interested in all your hobbies. It's their way of trying to bridge the gap, even if it means stepping out of their comfort zone. So what's the takeaway here? If someone is making plans to see you, it's because your absence has made a lasting impact. They've realized that life without you just isn't as fulfilling, and they're willing to go the extra mile to bring you back into their orbit. Remember, folks, the effort they put into these plans is a clear sign that you've become someone worth missing, someone irreplaceable. Let's end with this thought. When someone starts making plans to see you, it's not just about the meeting itself. It's about their desire to rebuild what was lost and to prove that you're a significant part of their life. So stay strong in your worth, because your absence has clearly left a mark that they're eager to erase by bringing you back into their world. Number 9. They try to make you jealous. So folks, let's discuss the 9th thing they will do when they miss you. They try to make you jealous. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would someone who misses you want to make you jealous? It seems a bit counterproductive, right? But here's the thing. When someone starts to feel that ache of missing you, they might resort to all sorts of tactics to get your attention, even if it means playing a little game of emotional chess. Imagine this. They're scrolling through social media, and they see you living your best life without them. It stings, and suddenly they're posting pictures with new people, sharing stories about their exciting life, all with the hope that you'll notice. It's as if they're saying, "Look at me, I'm doing just fine. But are you noticing me yet?" It's their way of testing the waters to see if they can stir up a reaction from you, maybe even to see if you miss them too. As the wise Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Their attempt to make you jealous is a reaction to their own insecurities, a sign that your absence is making them realize just how much they want to be a part of your life again. But here's the kicker. Don't let it rattle you. Instead, see it for what it is. Clear sign that they're thinking about you constantly. Keep your cool, stay grounded in your self-worth, and remember that you hold the power. By maintaining your composure, you'll not only protect your peace, but also reinforce the fact that your value isn't determined by their attempts to provoke you. So the next time you see them trying to flaunt their new life, smile and remember, their actions are just proof that they can't get you out of their mind. You're already winning, my friend. Stay focused on your path and let their attempts only motivate you to keep being the incredible person you are. Number 10. They express regret. So folks, let's discuss the 10th sign they'll show when they truly miss you. Expressing regret. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Regret? Really? But trust me, this is where things get interesting. When someone misses you deeply, they start to reflect on what went wrong, and that's when regret starts knocking on their door. Imagine this. They're sitting alone, scrolling through old messages or looking at pictures of the two of you. Suddenly, it hits them. They took you for granted, and now they're regretting every little thing that pushed you away. They might say things like, "I should have treated you better," or "I wish I hadn't been so distant." These aren't just empty words. They're a realization that they messed up, and now they're feeling the sting of your absence. As the great Epictetus said, we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. Their regret stems from a newfound perspective, one where they see your value more clearly because you're no longer there. It's a hard pill for them to swallow, but it's also a powerful sign that they miss you deeply. So, the next time you notice someone expressing regret, take it as a sign that your absence has made them realize just how much you meant to them. Remember, folks, your value isn't just in being present. It's in the space you leave behind when you're gone. And that, my friends, is where true worth is recognized. Keep your head high because the best is yet to come. Number 11. They change their behavior. Now, folks, let's discuss the 11th and final sign they will show when they miss you. Changing their behavior. You might be thinking, change? Really? But they seem so set in their ways. Well, that's the power of missing someone. It makes even the most stubborn hearts reconsider their actions. Imagine this. They've been going about their life, maybe not realizing how much they depended on your presence. But suddenly, you're not there, and it hits them like a ton of bricks. They start to see all the little ways they could have been better. Maybe they didn't listen enough. Or perhaps they took you for granted. Now, they're motivated to change, to become the kind of person they think you'd want in your life again. As the wise Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This quote captures the essence of what happens when someone truly misses you. They stop making excuses and start making changes. They realize that if they want you back, they need to be better, and they begin to work on themselves with that goal in mind. Now, picture them trying to show you these changes. Maybe they're more considerate, they've dropped a bad habit, or they've started pursuing new interests that align with yours. It's their way of saying, look, I'm different now. I see where I went wrong, and I want to be the person you deserve. So folks, remember this. When someone changes for the better because they miss you, it's a powerful testament to your influence on their life. It's proof that your absence has inspired growth and self-improvement. And that's something truly worth celebrating. Stay strong in your worth, and know that your influence can spark positive change in others. There you have it, -11 clear signs that someone misses you, each rooted in the principles of Stoicism and the power of absence. Remember, this isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature and recognizing the impact you have on those around you. Your absence can be a powerful tool, not just to make someone miss you, but to remind them of your true value. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below with the words "irreplaceable presence" to let us know you're committed to becoming someone who's deeply missed. Your support helps us continue to bring you valuable insights into the world of Stoicism and relationships. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and remember that sometimes the most powerful way to be remembered is to step back and let your absence do the talking. See you in the next video.